everyone, I'm Jessica Merizan, Community Manager at BioWare, here to talk to you about the ME3 Extended Cut DLC. Last March we released Mass Effect 3, the conclusion to the trilogy, and a journey that began almost a decade ago. With the Extended Cut coming out, I spent some time with executive producer Casey Hudson and lead writer Mac Walters to discuss what fans can expect, as well as provide a behind-the-scenes look into the creation process at the BioWare studio. Hey Casey and Mac, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
I know the community is really interested in talking with you guys. So, Casey, when Mass Effect 3 launched, the ending sparked a lot of debate and discussion. Why was that?
Well, I think one aspect is that it's tough to let go of a storyline and characters that you enjoy, and the endings didn't really leave a lot of time to say goodbye to the experience, so a lot of people just wanted more closure. Players developed a bond with these characters, and they've made some big decisions, so they feel a more of a need to get a sense of what the future holds for the Mass Effect series.
I think when we ended Mass Effect 3, we knew that it was going to be the end of Shepard's story, but in our minds and our imaginations, the characters are still going to be together, the characters that Shepard had brought together, assuming you kept them alive. And, maybe that didn't come across enough that those characters still had a future and they had a hope going forward.
Yeah, and in some cases, people feared the worst, that, no matter what your decisions you make, the entire galaxy is destroyed, everyone starves to death, so on, which, of course, wasn't our intention. It wasn't the way that we saw it, and it wasn't the intended message about how the Mass Effect universe would end. Mm-hmm. People wanted to actually see how their decisions resulted in consequences to the future of the Mass Effect universe. So players made a lot of big decisions throughout Mass Effect 3, leaving the story with literally millions of different permutations on the final state of the galaxy. But the original scenes in the game didn't go into detail about speculating on that future, so the endings left a lot to the player's imagination.
So I intentionally haven't spoken to the community too much because I want them to hear it from you. What exactly is the Extended Cut?
So the Extended Cut is content that players can download at no extra charge, which expands the endings of Mass Effect 3 through some additional scenes and an epilogue sequence. So it provides a lot of the closure that players are looking for, and it answers some of the questions that people have been asking. And it gives some of the sense of what the future holds as a result of your decisions throughout the series. Your final choice is just one part of how the story ends up. But then there's the whole game and the whole series worth of choices that results in story decisions. A lot of those now are going to be reflected.
Yeah, I think it's much easier for people to go in and see, I can see the choices that I made. I can see them playing out in the epilogue and in the extended ending.
Right.
So the Extended Cut is not a set of different endings, but rather it's an expansion of the original story. So we're trying to put on the screen what we imagined was implied by the original endings and address a lot of the feedback and the questions that we've received. So now in each playthrough, you're going to experience several minutes of additional content, depending on how your playthrough ends up. Sometimes it's more and sometimes it's less, but it's drawing from a much larger set of content that we've built because it's now quite variable. And it was actually a challenge for us to fit it in the 2 gig download limit for the Xbox.
When I played, it really drove home the fact that that last choice wasn't setting me up for a certain ending. It was setting me up for my final decision, and the ending that I got was reflective of all of my experiences, whether I played just Mass Effect 3 or whether I played the entire trilogy.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the interest with this, is not just reloading your save and seeing what the Extended Cut does with the one save game that you might have, but actually playing through or going back, making different choices, trying entire different playthroughs, because that's the only way that you're actually going to be able to see and explore the content that we've built for the Extended Cut.
Yeah, I think, we knew this had to resolve around, yes, the big choices that you make in the game and the small choices, some of them that you've made throughout the series, but really, how does it impact the characters that you know and love? So you'd have that a little bit more closure with your friends, with those loved ones in the game.
Right, because it transcends out of the game. They become part of your identity in a meaningful way.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's important to you to be able to look back at that and go, yep, those are the people that I kept alive, and that's the world that I kept them alive in.
So I have my saved game, and I want to see the new content with the Extended Cut. Where do I start?
So what you do is you start with a save game that's somewhere before the sequence in the end where you attack the Cerberus base. And then from there, if you play towards the end, then you're going to get the extended cut experience.
One of the things that I get to experience that I wish that more people could be kind of a fly on the wall at BioWare is the care and concern that you guys have put into making these decisions that are so important to the fans, to people like me, and to you guys.
Well, yeah, ultimately our passion is entertaining people, so delighting them with our stories and giving them amazing experiences and worlds to escape to, that's what we love to do. So, in this medium it just wouldn't make sense for us to make some kind of artistic statement and then turn our backs on it forever. There was some feedback that we can't address. There were people that just outright rejected the whole concept of the endings and wanted us to start from scratch and redo everything. And we can't do that because that's not our story. We wouldn't know how to write that story. What excites us is the challenge of learning how people consume our stories, and we're trying new ways of telling stories. And so it's a learning process for everybody, and then incorporating that feedback, that's how we make our work better.
I'd really love to find out, where do you guys look for feedback and how do you use it?
We read everything that we can get. So, we read all over the BioWare social network, everything from like YouTube comments, reviews, blog posts.
But then, we also get sometimes like the less conventional things. Like we were sent several stories from fans about, what they wish their characters could do. It was really well thought out.
When things are really constructive like that, even if it's critical, it means a lot to us because, when you think about the artists and writers, all the people here, they work because they're passionate about games and passionate about making a really great experience for players. And so when they get constructive feedback, constructive criticism, they're actually really excited to do something about that.
From what I've noticed in the community, I think that you guys have taken a lot of feedback, positive and constructive or critical, and really worked with that.
Yeah, since we started our forums back in the Baldur's Gate days, our fan community has been extremely important to us. We owe our success to the people who play our game.
Yeah, and for me, one of the perks, honestly, of being a developer is going out to the cons or any of the fan events and actually getting to meet the fans. I'm always humbled when I meet them and, I see how much passion and enthusiasm they have for something that, that me and the rest of the team has created. And that passion that they have is what I kind of take back with me when I go back to the studio and I start creating, because really, you've met these people, you know how excited they are about it. All you want to do is just make something great for them.
So do you think that everyone in our community is going to be satisfied with the ending after playing the extended cut?
Well, you can never completely satisfy everyone. We've seen a whole range of feedback, ranging from people who wanted us to do a total redo, to people who had concerns and questions about the original endings, to people who actually loved the original endings and have told us they don't want us to change anything. So there's no doubt that there will be a whole new wave of discussion and debate and maybe even controversy. But we didn't do the extended cut because we were trying to make everybody happy and make it perfect. We just saw an opportunity to expand on the things that we felt we could add value to the experience for those who might appreciate it.
Yeah, I think the extended cut is really more about taking the things that are there and making them shine even more, rather than trying to change and adapt what's there to reach out to a broader audience that's looking for something that just was never intended.
Now, ultimately, what made you guys decide you wanted to do the extended cut?
I remember when Mass Effect 3 launched, the team was incredibly proud of what they had delivered. And even though we were getting incredible reviews, there was some really tough criticism coming in that was pretty hard on us. And what happened over and over, though, in those days was that people from throughout the team would come into my office with ideas for what they could do for players to address the feedback that they were hearing. So the thing is, we love this universe as much as the fans do. We've been putting our hearts and souls into this for over 8 years. And when it's all over, we wanted to take a little more time to say goodbye to it. We wanted that as much as fans did. So we were really happy to have the opportunity to work on the extended cut And it's been a labor of love to put these extra scenes in and kind of show a little bit more of what's going to happen with the Mass Effect universe after we say goodbye to it.
I think that the labor of love really shines through on this, and I'm looking forward to talking with people after they have a chance to play the extended cut.
Great, I am too.
Thank you guys so much for talking to us today.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.